Well, welcome back, and the main news is that we've had a really overwhelming response on the Rachel Nickel appeal. There seems to be one lead which sounds particularly encouraging. More on that later, I hope. Protocol has yielded some interesting calls. We may be near an arrest soon, and Eric Knowles is excited as we may be close to finding the owner of that unique Whitehaven teapot.
Let's start with the violent kidnapping of a woman in Cheshire. On Friday the 14th of August, soon after her husband had driven off to work, Liz Kerr was abducted from her home.
Yes.
Does your husband drive a silver grey Volvo Estate, H registration?
Yes, he does.
Well, I'm afraid I've got some bad news for you.
That was not a real police officer. Poor Mrs. Kerr was hit fairly hard in the face and abducted. What sort of response have you had?
Overwhelming response both here and in Cheshire. Significantly, a number of names are coming up more than once, and we've had a good response and good suggestions both in Cardiff and in the Greater Manchester and Cheshire
Now,
area.
the Cardiff connection was very interesting because you've got some dry cleaning slips which you discovered where Liz was eventually released. Now, you've got some calls from Cardiff you're particularly interested in.
Yes, we have, but we haven't yet heard from Mr. Evans, or the person who gave the name Evans and the person that put those trousers in. I'm very interested in hearing from him.
That man who is very distinctive, he's 6'3", he's got ginger hair, and he might well have a blue Orion car, certainly had access to it at the time of the Cardiff, at the time of the kidnap, and a lot of suggestions he might have some military background.
Yes, there's been a lot of suggestions on military background.
Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Hull, thank you very much.
Well, we've had so many calls on the Rachel Nickel case that viewers on other cases may have found it difficult to get through. But David, what have we had on the incident desk so far?
Well, just a very few calls, Sue, because it looks as though that's exactly what's happened. If you have been trying to get through on incident desk cases, please ring your local police station after the programme closes down. They'll be pleased to take the information you have. But one case that we have got what looks like a very good lead on is on the final case we dealt with, the attempted abduction of the 16-year-old girl from Sheffield. A PC's called in who's dealt with a man who he reckons fits the video fit of our offender. He's got a similar car, and we're following that one up now.
That's good news, David, thank you.
Aladdin's Cave this month was assembled by Gloucestershire Police, and a lot of this they think is stolen. What's been the response, Eric?
Well, I'd like to stress that this is the tip of the iceberg. There's 4,000 objects in this hall. The response in the box is good. That nice little Meissen box. I've yet to be told what's in the interior of the lid. Again, objects in the background grabbing attention. This water carrier. I'd like to stress to a lady Nisha, she's not bronze, she's pottery.
Okay.
But the exciting news is the teapot. Let me just say that they're dancing on the tables in Whitehaven at the moment. I've been in touch with somebody up there. They think it could be one of the missing links. I've actually had a lady from Yorkshire who gave me some wonderful information. It passed through a sale in London in 1967. She could give me the lot number, and she thinks it went to America, which the police tell me makes sense.
Okay, looks like a tatty old teapot to me, perhaps the most valuable thing we've ever had on Crimewatch. So,
Right. Well, next, the murder of 18-year-old Kate Ratcliffe. Kate was last seen after she spent the evening of Saturday the 6th of June dancing at Ragamuffin Club in a shopping centre in Camberley in Surrey. Kate was last seen at about 2:30 in the morning outside the shopping precinct. Believing she'd already left with someone else, her friends had gone home without her. 5 hours later, Kate was found dead. She'd been stabbed, and Detective Superintendent Bogard has been taking the calls.
Very encouraging at the moment. In total, between the incident room at Aldershot and here, probably about 140 calls we've had on this, mainly about the man in the van and possible nominations of the van, and also the man in the club.
We can quick have a look at the man in the van now.
Yes, this man in his early 20s with this moustache and this very cropped hair.
What you still need calls on is the more people at the club, including the lone man.
Yes, I mean, we've had quite a number on those, but let's have some more.
And Kate getting into a vehicle between 2:30 and 8.
At the moment, we've not had any calls on that, and that's what I'm primarily interested in.
And it's Saturday the 6th of June, or the small hours of Sunday 7th of June.
That's right.
Anything you'd like to add?
I'd just like to say that if there is anyone out there who's got that crucial information about an individual they know, please give us a ring.
Thank you.
photo call now. Let's see if it's as successful as the last programme. What's been happening tonight, Jackie?
Well, it seems we've been a bit overwhelmed by the calls for the reconstructions, but it's only so far. Perhaps the night is yet young.
One very good response, you think, though?
Paul Anthony Kelly, the man involved in timeshare marketing, we've had over 20 calls citing him, so that looks a real possibility. Perhaps that's the exception.
The odd bins robber?
A very good film of him, but 5 names suggested, none of them too exciting.
And extraordinarily wonderful pictures of the other 2, and virtually no responses on either of them.
No, if you know who they are, please ring us. We do need to know where they are now.
OK, Sue, thank you.
Well, now the robbery in Chesterfield on the 28th of July. We asked if you recognised two quite distinctive-looking characters who were seen by several witnesses in the Whittington Moor area of the city shortly before a security van made a routine delivery to the post office there. Well, the robbery was over in a matter of seconds. Did you see the men make their getaway up a private driveway to a car park? You've had quite a few calls, I believe, Neil Parry.
That's correct, yes. The response from the public has been very good. We now believe we've eliminated the blue van that left the rear of Paul Ayres carpets on Whittington Moor. That is important.
The man who was driving that van
That's
has
right,
now contacted us. Unfortunately, you didn't see anything significant.
No, we didn't, unfortunately. Secondly, we've been given several names as to the identity of the fair-haired suspect, which we'll be pursuing upon our return to Chesterfield.
Can we just have his description again?
The description is small, which is 5 foot 4 inch tall, slim build, pale complexion, hazel eyes, straight sandy hair and freckles.
If you can help us, the lines are still open. Please call.
Finally, the murder of Rachel Nickel, the young mother stabbed to death while strolling with her little son on Wimbledon Common in southwest London. We've left this to last, frankly, because we've had so many calls to process. Mr. Bassett, how many? Do you know?
Well, we've had over 300 calls. It's been a tremendous result, both at this studio and our police station at Wimbledon.
And actually, interestingly, although we're expecting a lot of anonymous calls, almost everybody's given their name and a lot of people have given a lot of details.
Yes, and that's most encouraging.
I said earlier in the main programme, one man's name had gone right to the top of your priority list. Without giving too much away, what can you tell us about that?
Well, we've had a number of calls identifying one man. I mustn't get too over-enthusiastic because, of course, he could be a social misfit that they're trying to get rid of off their estate, but it does look very, very encouraging at the moment.
And there's somebody else who you're very interested to as sort of number 2 priority now?
Yes, there is another man that's been named more than once, and we're very encouraged by that as well.
I should say in both these cases there are a number of things that really link them not only to the area but to some other specific things as well, so they are quite intriguing. And you've got some other witnesses who've come forward, again, other people who were on Wimbledon Common that morning.
Yes, it's incredible to think that we've been running 8 weeks, but still people are getting in touch with us and saying that we were on the Common on that day.
Right. The man himself, there was a faint possibility the clinical psychologist said might ring him himself. He has not done so.
He has not.
Okay, thank you. So,
well, heartfelt thanks to everyone who's called so far. That is it for this month. Don't forget our lines are staying open until midnight. You'll see a list of local numbers in a moment on the screen, and you can call those at any time, of course. We'll be back here a month from now, but in the meantime, you can find out exactly how viewers' calls can help police solve some of our most serious crimes. That'll be on Crimewatch File every Thursday for the next 3 weeks at 9:30, immediately after the news.
they show how effective these are, the sort of calls that are coming behind us right now. And it looks like several of these cases now really are on the way to being solved. So don't have nightmares, do sleep well. Good night.
Good night.